Entitled people demand too much. I'm your host, Tite. Let's read about a bunch. Our first one is from I'm Still Lost 2024. Close friend wanted to come visit, stay in my home, and use my car. We agreed to 1 week, and I took that week off. She booked the ticket for 12 days. She said because the flights were cheaper, and I found out about it after the ticket was bought. I adjusted my schedule, but ended up needing to work 2 12-hour night shifts during those 12 days, but was completely off on the original week we agreed to. She arrives. It's all good. I work on call overnight for hospice. My job can be emotionally draining. I explained ahead of time that I would be unavailable to hang out even if I was home during my shifts. She said she understood. Hospice on-call nurse is the one who goes to homes to pronounce when someone has passed. We mostly do symptom management, as-needed visits, family support, follow-up calls, and supply and med drops. Some shifts are simple, but some are extremely difficult, as you can imagine. I am responsible for 120 patients across the county by myself for 12 hours. I explained all of that to her way before she came to visit. Everything seemed fine. I worked my shifts. I stopped everything else to do hikes, tours, and eating out. We easily spent 10 to 12 hours a day doing what she wanted to do. I have a tendency to be over-accommodating. On my day off, I had planned a boat tour I paid for that she really wanted to do. I told her we would have to arrive at 8 o'clock. Boat tour starts at 8:15. She didn't like getting up early, but made it work. We arrive at 8 o'clock and I tell her we have a few minutes to spare to use the bathroom since it starts at 8:15. She yells at me in the car for lying to her about the time of the boat tour because she could have slept in 15 minutes. My rationale was that it was an hour and 15-minute drive to get there, so you need extra time and it's not like they would hold the boat if you're late. A few other things happened, but it's too much to write. I let it all slide just to keep the peace. The morning before she left, she told me, "We need to talk," while out on a sunrise hike. She said that she was stressed out after watching me work my shifts, and it ruined her vacation. It made her uncomfortable to see me so focused and concerned about my work. I give my all to my hospice patients and families. She said she was so uncomfortable being in my home that she was looking to purchase flights to leave the entire time. She gave me a long list of issues she has with me. The list? I spoil my dogs. I shouldn't have lied about the boat tour time. I work too hard and should have taken more time off for her visit. I should upgrade to a new house. And I don't eat enough vegetables. I tried to explain that I'm just living my life and I'm comfortable, happy, and content in it. I felt like she was trying to show me that I shouldn't be happy with this life or something. I took her to the airport the next day and said goodbye. She wrote me a text daily, but I hardly replied until she asked why. I told her it was a bad visit and I needed space. We've not talked since. If you feel so entitled to literally try to tell somebody that their life, the way they're living their life is the wrong way, or they ruined your vacation after they were nice enough to open their home and vehicle to you, I don't think that's an entitlement that can be fixed. This next one is by Designer Process 1295. I just had to cut off an old friend that I rekindled with after I had my son. She has 2 boys. Her and her husband are separated, but still married legally and living together. Recently, we went to a fair where she expected me to pay for everything. Every time we've ever went anywhere, I'd pay. The last time we went out, I suggested Applebee's because it's cheaper and I don't mind paying usually. And she said she was expecting something more fancy, as if it was a date. Mind you, I'm also married happily. I just laughed it off and we went to Applebee's anyways. Well, recently we go to the fair with our kids for a play date where never once did I say I was paying, because I'm not a millionaire and I can't afford to take a family of 3 plus me and my son, so really a family of 5 to the fair. We get there and I'm buying the pass for my son and myself, and she said she left her wallet in her car. No big deal. I'll pay and then she can just Venmo me. I pay for all the passes. We go on rides. We're having fun and it's time to eat. We get food at the fair, which was extremely expensive, and her kids are just yelling out what they want. And she has absolutely no control over them, so I hurry to order everything, and this girl has the nerve to add hella more food to the order, which comes out to $110. After we eat, it's getting really hot. Our kids are tired, so I ask her hey, before we leave, can you Venmo me? She looks me dead in the eyes and said she has no money, and that she's broke. Her husband cut her off basically. And I told her, if you knew that, then why the fuck did you suggest the fair? And why did you say you would Venmo me? She said because I don't understand, since me and my husband both have good paying jobs and she's a stay-at-home mom, so it's harder. I didn't know what to say, and I just said okay, and put my son in a stroller and got up to leave, and she follows with her kids. As we are leaving, she has the nerve to say she wishes they could go into this escape room, not included in the passes I bought everyone, and keeps looking at me with these begging face. Honestly, it made me feel disgusted, so I said no. We need to go back and it's getting late, and my kid needs to nap. We both say bye. Same day, she's calling and texting, asking for the next hangout, and inviting herself to my house, saying she can come right now with her boys. I say I'll get back to her. Now it's been 4 days, and she calls and texts me every day, which I don't respond to. After I told my husband about everything, and he told me to absolutely cut her off and that it's trifling and she's completely taking advantage of me. Has anyone else ever experienced something like this? Update. I texted her and said exactly how I feel and that she needs to pay me back. She got mad I ended up blocking her and not responding to her last text. It won't let me upload the screenshots, so I'm just going to copy-paste the messages. Hey, I know you've been texting and calling to hang out and schedule, but honestly, I'm not really interested unless you can pay me back for the other day. I spent a lot of money and you lied to me and told me you'd Venmo. I feel like you took advantage of me because we were in front of the kids when I asked you to pay me back. I would never do this to you. You're just assuming that we're well off because we both work, when in reality, it's because we budget. If you had been straightforward that you didn't have the money, I would have brought snacks and we could have gone to the free splash pad or the park or literally anything free.
What did you expect from me? I'm depressed and going through a divorce and have no money. I tell you the truth and then you use it against me? You're just holding everything you paid for over my head when I never asked you to do that. Shaking my head.
You literally did ask me to do that. What the fuck? You said you were going to Venmo me and literally lied to my face. And made sure to wait until after I paid for everything. I get you're depressed, and I'm sorry for what you're going through, but that has no correlation to you lying and waiting until after I paid to guilt trip me.
I have enough going on right now. I really don't need to be dealing with this, honestly.
So are you going to pay me back or not?
Not. You don't need me to pay you back. You're doing just fine. You're just a greedy person. You literally have your husband paying for everything. You have no idea what it's like to struggle, and I'm struggling so bad right now. We're staying together for the kids, but he doesn't help me with anything, and I never have money.
You literally showed up with Starbucks, though?
You're going to be like that and watch all my expenses? Why are you even texting me? I don't want to be friends with someone that's going to hold everything over my head. You're just a greedy person. You think you're better than me and you're not. You always look down on people. I never should have told you shit about my marriage because you clearly don't even care.
I never responded to her last text and just blocked her. Being entitled is bad enough, but then when you act all needy like this, and then you're trying to guilt trip somebody who's literally done things for you, and you're trying to claim that you never said you would pay them back when you in fact did, yeah, I think most people would break a friendship off with someone like that. And our final one is from Joe Bagged. So this just recently happened at a local hospital emergency room. A woman came into the ER with some issues. She drove herself. She was seen and on a bed in the room in the ER. After several hours there, it was decided that her issues were serious enough that she needed to be admitted to the hospital for further treatment. When the woman was told this, she stated that before they admitted her to a room in the hospital, she was really hungry and needed to get a shower. So she wanted to go home and take a shower, go get some food, and she would come back to be admitted to a room in the hospital. It was explained to her that is not how it works. She would be admitted to a room in the hospital for the necessary treatment, and she would be able to eat and shower in her room there after the necessary treatment when cleared to do so. The woman didn't like that answer, and still stated she would leave to go shower and eat, then come back. It was again explained that's not how it works. If she decided to leave, she would need to start the process all over again in the ER by waiting to be seen, examined, etc. She was left in the ER room as staff went to go prepare to get her transferred over to the full hospital room for further treatment. This just upset her more, so she eventually decided to get up and leave, without informing anyone or signing any paperwork to acknowledge that she was leaving on her own against the doctor's recommendation. Oh well. People are always free to refuse treatment, so the ER staff continued on treating others. The ER room she was in was cleaned and turned around for others to use, and other patients placed in it as needed. Now, about 3 to 4 hours later, this woman shows back up at the ER. She went home, took a shower and changed, and went and got some food and ate. She was now demanding to be placed back into the ER room she was in before, then transferred to the hospital room for treatment. It was again explained to her that's not how it works. She needs to check in, wait to be seen, be examined, and then doctors would see if she needs to be admitted for further treatment or not. She didn't like that at all. Not to mention that the room she was in before was already in use by others, and all the others were full, so she needs to wait to be seen again as stated. So she decided to call 911 to get officers there to take care of things and get her admitted right then, without all of that process again. Officers showed up in a bit to assess the situation and deal with her. After hearing her tirade in person, they explained to her that what she wanted was not how it works. She could either follow the process again and wait as explained by the ER staff, or she could leave. After a while, she just left. Even if she went to another hospital ER in the area, she was going to have to wait and go through it all again. Who knows, maybe she went home to get worse, and figured if she called an ambulance, she would get in quicker. But that's not how it works either. Still need to wait and get triaged, based on need, even if brought in by ambulance compared to others there too. I guess it wasn't that bad after all if she could drive, shower, eat, and even complain to the police to try to get her away hours later. But talk about entitled. I like to think that most people understand that if you go to the ER or a place medical related and you go through the whole process and you end up in a room, you can't just leave and then pick up back where you started, as if one saved a spot in line for you. But I guarantee trying to explain this to somebody as entitled as this lady is literally like speaking to a wall. Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled People. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.